Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's second video. We're going to have a look at weather for the 10th to 14 days for today's second video. Day 10 will take us to the 1st of December. And we'll be able to extend out beyond that with the extended GFS and ECM ensembles. Maybe around a couple of weeks. We'll have a look at the CFSV2 at the end of the video for the next 4 weeks. Gets us well into December. I shall get time back for you in a moment. Just to say that the first video releasing was our 6 AM upload and can be live streaming. Wow. At 8 PM this evening. We're going to have our Monday Night Live and we're going to be discussing the epic 12th Winter 22-23 update. So I shall see you live then. But we've got day 14 to do first. Please like, share, subscribe on videos. Thank you so much for doing that. 14.8k is imminent. Just need to put on around 2 subscribers. And we will get ourselves to 14,800. So please give a sub. Tell friends and family to subscribe as well. It's amazing. It's incredible. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that. It's a cold and wet Monday. So we're going to try and cheer you up with our video and then our live stream later on. Okay. So we're going to start off setting temperature. CT is, oh, now I'll make myself cough now. I'm going to calm myself down. Right, so CT is currently sitting at 10.8, continuing to gradually come down, but only very, very gradually. That's still 3.7 degrees above average, and that is provisional to yesterday, to the 20th of November. So it's going to go, I think that'll go under 9 when it updates tomorrow. I think it'll probably be around 9.9 tomorrow. And I imagine it'll finish somewhere in the 9s, but quite where that comes out, we'll have to wait and see. These are the GFS upper air temperature and precipitation ensembles the next couple of weeks. We're looking at London today. So the red line is the 30-year upper air temperature average for London. We're starting off about average at the moment. Going to keep the upper air temperatures about average as we go into the final week of the month. There's going to be a warm-up right at month's end in the last few days of the month. And then to December, possibly signs of a little bit of a cool down. You will notice the thick green line here, which is the GFS operational run. That becomes quite cold. And also the thick blue line, which is the control run, that also becomes quite cold as well. So both the control and the operational GFS runs going quite cold in the extreme range in the first week of December. For this video, so possibly signs of things going colder in December, but then again we can't discount these milder ensemble members up here. Precipitation wise, there'll be lots more rain to come through the rest of November, but I think we can say I've got a drying trend here through the first week of December. Definitely looks as though the precipitation spikes are not only lessening but becoming less intense as well. So a drying trend, I think, through the first week of December. But quite what the temperature will be doing remains to be seen, and it will be determined on where the high pressure is sitting. Of course, I mean, we might well build in high pressure through the first week of December, change the pattern, break out this very unsettled weather, but where that high sits will determine whether it gets cold or not. Might get cold from frost and fog, but not from, like, easterly or northerly winds and that, at least not initially. Temperature anomalies on the 21st, 29th of November are going to be around to a little bit above average, but not a particularly big deviation, but slightly above average with temperature anomaly. Precipitation anomaly still wetter than normal from the 21st to the 29th of November, still above average in most areas, away from the far north of Scotland. The latest weather map from earthnullschool.net shows that low pressure is in control of the weather. Plenty of low pressure in the Atlantic, bringing in another weather system across Northern Ireland, England, Wales today. Cold and wet day, and there's further areas of low pressure downstream in the Atlantic to keep the unsettled weather going through this week. Right, so let's go through the chart data. Let's have a UK Met Euro run talking midnight on Thursday. The low pressure pushing in from the Atlantic and plenty of wet and windy weather. Into Friday and Saturday, probably a little bit quieter under that slight transient ridge there. So, turning a bit drier early on in weekend, but more wet windy weather piling back in from off the Atlantic later Saturday and into Sunday. And then we finish up with UK Meteo Road going into showery westerly by midnight next Monday, 28th of November. Icon, looks like that again. Low pressure coming in from off the Atlantic on Thursday, bringing plenty of wet windy weather with it. Showery conditions Friday, then this little transient ridge building into weekend, but it's not long before the next batch of wet and windy weather sweeps in from off the Atlantic. That's midnight Sunday. Looks pretty wild, doesn't it? Tight packed isobars, so looks windy and wet, but it should be mild with winds coming up from the southwest. And then heading into the early part of next week, stays unsettled really. Again, we've got a slight transient reach there. That's midday Monday, but this next low just here, I think that's got our name on it, and that also will keep the unsettled weather going, I would have thought. GFS midnight run. Now, this is a run that gets colder. So let's see how that happens. We find that on Thursday it looks rather wet and windy again. Low pressure sweeping in from off the Atlantic Ocean. More wet and windy weather through into Friday. Then we get this slight little transient ridge building over the weekend. The GFS midnight run makes more of that ridge. So already by sort of Saturday, Sunday, by the weekend, changes here compared to the last 2 months we're looking at, with more of a ridge to our south and east, and lower pressure being blocked out in the Atlantic. And what basically happens is that high pressure takes over across Scandinavia and starts pulling in the wind from the east. So we raise the heights a lot as we move up towards day 10 from Scotland up to Scandinavia. It ultimately extends back into Russia to a Siberian high, and we bring in those easterly winds. Day 10, which is the first day of November, first day of December, I should say. We start December on a cold note with easterly winds. Might even bring some wintry showers around some of those eastern and southeastern coasts. Those easterly winds then continue through the early part of December as well. This is 2nd of December, two of those easterlies. We've got -5 Celsius iceberg pushing through here, so not as severely cold easterly, but it's certainly significantly colder than anything we've had since last winter. Probably since the winter before that, really, considering how mild last winter was. We get proper easterly going through the opening days of December. Probably cold enough to bring like wintry showers at least, maybe snow showers on those eastern and southern coasts. And then the high pressure begins to retrogress. Retrogress, you know how excited I get about retrogression. The high pressure begins to retrogress to Greenland. Now we are ultimately, by the 7th of December, which is as far as we get to with this GFS midnight run, we start opening the doors to a proper cold northerly blast there, with high pressure through the North Atlantic and reaching up towards Greenland. Let's see how that happens again. So there's a high pressure position on the 29th of November. There's a high pressure position on the 30th of November. 1st of December, the high is just there. So already, as early as the 1st of December, really starting to retrogress a little bit. And that carries on into the first week of December, that high pressure inching its way further and further towards Greenland to eventually proper retrogression or retrogression has taken place, and down comes that northerly wind. Very interesting. GFS midnight run. What about 6 then? Let's have a look at that one. Now, again, Thursday looks really unsettled, low pressure, bringing more wet and windy weather across the country. Over the weekend, high pressure tried to build to our southeast, but not as much as it does on that GFS midnight run. So this looks more in line with what sort of Icon and the UK Met were doing earlier. Eventually, though, we get this area of high pressure building through the country by the end of November and the start of December. So we've more or less pulled off a Scandinavian high there by the 1st of December. We have got sort of an easterly going, but it's not as much of an easterly as we have on the midnight GFS run, and very quickly that gets cut off. And with this 6 run, we don't get the high to Greenland. Actually, we just pull the high pressure to our west-southwest and bring in a milder wind from off the Atlantic. So the 6 really backtracks on that idea of like a northerly by the 7th of December. But I think we're going to get the Scandinavian high in first, and then we see where we go after that in any case. If you enjoyed this video, please can you like, share, subscribe. Thank you so much, everybody, for doing that, and why not drop a comment and let us know what you think about this and all of our videos. We thank you so very much, everyone, for doing that. Right, GM, looking like there's low pressure in from off the Atlantic Ocean on Thursday into Friday. We're going to get this ridge building from the southwest. Turns us dry for a while over the weekend, but western wind weather came back into the northwest eventually. Heading up towards day 10, high pressure again reaching in across the country. Notice it's trying to build the heights to our northeast as well. So that's not all that far from beginning to set up a Scandinavian high type pattern. And the GWV, once more, with low pressure in the Atlantic, plenty of wet and windy weather through the middle part of the week. Where am I going with my tabs? There we go. Plenty of wet and windy weather through the middle part of the week. And that wet weather just keeps piling in off the Atlantic until the weekend. And then high pressure trying to build to our south and east. Not as much of a ridge bow as some of the model output today. So looking quite wet and windy there midnight on Sunday. Should be mild though. And then into the early part of next week, we look like that. Up to day 10, which is Thursday, the 1st of December. Still relatively mild. Begin to bring something a little bit colder into far north parts, but still relatively mild with the ECM today up to the 1st day of December. This is a precipitation forecast based on that ECM. Run from TibetShow.com. Plenty of rain to come over the next few days. The rain bands keep on coming. The deluge goes on into the end of November. By day 10, still looking rather showery, especially so in the north and the west. These are the options on the table within the ECM ensembles today for day 10, which gets us to the 1st of December. 18 members of the ECM ensembles with high pressure over, just slightly to the west of the country. Mostly dry back, but could be a bit chilly. Winds coming in from a bit of a northwesterly direction. We've got another 18 here, including the operational run, keeping the unsettled weather going. Low pressure just keeps coming really. High pressure over France, so that's relatively mild. And then we've got 15 with high pressure over Scandinavia, and that will get wind into the east, in line with what the GFS midnight run was going for. So that's a minority option at day 10, 1st of December, within the ECM ensembles. In 2 weeks' time, these are the options that we've got. This gets us to the 6th of December. 20 members of the ECM ensembles with high pressure just to our west, reaching a little bit further northwest, but still really keeping the wind in from off the Atlantic. We've got 17 with a proper mid-Atlantic ridge and extending to Greenland. Trough of low pressure over the coast. I reckon that's cold, that option, and maybe a bit wintry. And then we've got 14 here, but look quite cold. They've got high pressure in the North Atlantic, and they're extending it to Greenland, to Scandinavia, I should say, from Greenland, and that will bring in an easterly wind, so that will turn cold from the east with that scenario. So putting the 17 together with the 14 there, putting the two together, two options, then probably the ECM ensembles are favouring cold weather by around 2 weeks out. CFS weekly finally, these are 500 millibar heights and orange, broken down into weekly periods. The first week period will take us from the 23rd, 27th of November. The coming week looks unsettled with low pressure in from off the Atlantic. Plenty of rain to come, but at least it will be mild. Week 2 is going to be the 28th of November to 4th of December. Low pressure getting pushed out into the Atlantic by high pressure building over Scandinavia. That's going to be turning wind into a colder sort of southeasterly flow. I would have thought frost and fog there, likely, eventually. And then week 3 is going to be the 5th to the 11th of December. High pressure from Iceland to Scandinavia. You will think that's going to be bringing in a cold easterly wind then. So maybe cold there through early December. And then week 4 is going to be the 12th to the 18th of December. The high pressure looks like it's going southwards, which would bring the wind back in from west and southwest and would turn things milder there through the middle part of December. about me setting up a mild Christmas, I wonder. Right, well, we're done. So if you enjoyed the video, please can you like, share, subscribe. Make sure you're subscribed to our channel. Don't forget to tell your friends about GavsWeatherVids. Drop a comment. Let us know what you think about this and all of our videos and all of that good stuff. And we thank you so much, everyone, for doing that. Right, so you'll be live streaming from 8 PM. We'll be discussing our epic 12th winter update of that live stream. We'll show you the 12Z and we'll show you some long range as well, of course. So I shall see you live at 8 PM. And just so coming up tomorrow, we're going to have the 6 AM upload. We will have the European Outlook, extended European Outlook. And we'll have a 10 to 14 day too. The 8th Christmas update will be on Wednesday. The 8th Christmas update will be released on Wednesday, just after Wednesday's live stream. So that's going to be epic as well. You enjoy the rest of your Monday afternoon. I shall see you this evening. But for this one, that's all for now. And thanks for watching.